Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Faith St. Juliet, and I'm so glad that you're joining today. Let me share a story with you, and I'm sure it's something that many of you guys can relate to. Have you ever known in advance that you had somewhere to go, and for whatever reason, your brain just was wired to wait until the night before or the day of to sew something to wear? Yep, that's me. That's me. This past weekend, I knew for about 2 weeks that my husband and I were going on a double date with our good friends. And of course, I look at sewing like going shopping. You know you're going somewhere, you go, you know what? I need new skirts. I have nothing in my closet to wear. Let me run to the store really quick. Nope. I go, I want a new skirt. I have nothing to wear. Let me go sew something up real quick. And that is exactly what I did. But I will tell you that in moments like this, I choose to make something quick and easy. I do not go and try to make something just like whoa and over the top. And so I did not have time to sew up a new pattern or even cut pattern paper at this point because I only had about 2.5, 3 hours to get ready to walk out that door. So I decided to make a simple maxi skirt with a side slit. This little baby right here. And I must say that she turned out beautifully. Want to know how I did it? Keep watching for the tutorial. Let's start with our supplies. First, you'll need your fabric of choice. I'm using this beautiful cotton silk voile I purchased from Mood about a year ago. Love the drapiness and the colors in this fabric. Next, you'll need your needle of choice. I'm using the Sharp Microtex needle from Class A because I'm using a very lightweight, silky fabric. This needle's perfect for that. Next, you will need to choose your cutting tool. You can choose either scissor or rotary cutter, whichever one works best for you. You will also need a 3/4 of an inch braided elastic for your waistband. Now it's time to put our skirt together. So what you see me doing here is I am cutting the excess piece at the top. I need my skirt to be cut straight across evenly, and so I need to cut that extra piece away so that my skirt will be evenly cut across. I did not take a width measurement before I cut my skirt because I'm using the full width of the fabric, and the fabric is about 54 inches wide. And I'm doing like that because I want the skirt to be full and flowy. Now I need to spread my fabric out across the full length of the table, but I have to pull it back first so that I can extend the table and make it a lot longer. And that's what I love about my cutting table. You guys, that is versatile. I can make it longer for larger projects, or I can drop down the sides and make it shorter for smaller projects. Now, I'm getting ready to cut the length of the fabric. I've already gone ahead and measured my length, so I know how long that it needs to be. Make sure you do the same. Measure your length and how long you want the skirt to be. And then you are going to grab your measuring tool, and you are going to do this for both the back and the front of the skirt. You are going to snip where you want to cut that skirt so that when you get ready to cut across, you know exactly where to start. Then you're going to cut the back piece of the skirt at the length you desire. For the front of the skirt, I'm going to cut straight across right at that point that I made my snip to ensure that I have the full length of the skirt the way that I want it. Next up, I am cutting along the full length of the skirt at the folded edge. I'm cutting that folded part in half because if you remember the beginning of the video, I said that there's going to be a slit in the skirt. Well, I have to cut the front piece in half in order to create that slit, which is what I have done here. Next, I am taking my skirt pieces and I am going to serge along the raw edges. I'm serging around the raw edges of this fabric because it can fray just a slight bit once you cut into it. And to keep from excess fraying, I serge the edges before I start to sew everything together. Now I'm measuring how long I want my slit to be. Once I get that measurement, I am going to take my measuring tape over to my skirt piece and I'm going to measure how long that needs to be and mark it at the stopping point. I'm doing this so that when I start sewing my skirt, that marking line will let me know exactly where I need to end my stitch on the sewing machine. Now I've taken my skirt front over to the pressing area and I am preparing the slit and the hem of my skirt for a narrow stitch. Remember, with the narrow stitch, you fold over your piece 5/8 of an inch and then you fold it inside along that line. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm pressing to make sure everything's nice and flat. So when I take it back to the sewing machine, I can stitch it with ease. Now I'm back at the sewing machine and I am stitching along, making sure that I stitch along the inner edge of that narrow hem that I created and pressed with my iron. I want to make sure that I stitch through the full width of the front piece and the back piece of the skirt, as well as that slit area. Now we are placing the front and the back of the skirts together, right sides facing. Once we do that, we are going to take it off to the sewing machine and sew both the front and the back together along the side seams. Next up, you guys, is an hilarious phone call between me and Brittany. Listen up.
What are you doing, friend?
2 hours, less than 2 hours before we gotta leave, sewing a skirt to wear. And it's self-drafted because I didn't have time to pull out no patterns. So your girl did it freehand.
Friend. Now you knew about this.
For weeks. For weeks. Get at me, I deserve it. I knew about this for weeks.
Why you bring this stress on yourself like this, Fred?
Because I don't know I do anything else. I've been doing this since I started sewing. Like, I feel like at this point, I don't know how to stop. I feel like my brain goes, you know what? Won't you wait till the night before? That's going to be fun. Or won't you wait until the day of?
Right. Wait till it's just 2 hours left.
Yeah, just be like, that'll be fun. That'll be really fun. So pray for your friend's habits, okay? Because that's what I need prayer for. That right there, that's a prayer I need.
That's the real problem.
That's the real problem. That is the real problem, okay? Now let's get back to sewing the skirt, you guys. So right here, I am measuring 1 inch because I am going to create a casing for my skirt to place the elastic through. Now I've taken the skirt over to the iron where I am pressing along that marking I made for the casing. Then I'm going to take my iron. I'm just going to press that area flat across the whole width of the skirt. And then I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and stitch that in place. And then my casing will be ready for me to place my elastic in through that casing area. Yep, I'm still on the phone yip-yapping with Brittany as I finish up this skirt, you guys. Now I am going to cut my elastic, but first I'm going to place it around my waist and I'm going to pull it taut first to ensure that I get a nice snug fit once I clip my elastic and place it in my skirt. Now I am going to take my elastic puller through, which is what I call it because I don't remember the name of this tool, but I am going to place it on my elastic and place it through that opening that I left in the casing area. And then I'm going to pull it all the way through from the opening of that casing area all the way to the other side, back to that opened area. And then I'm going to pull it all the way through. And then I'm going to place my two elastic pieces one on top of the other, and I'm going to stitch over that. I'm going to do a forward stitch and a back stitch to make sure that the stitches are strong and the elastic pieces won't come apart in my skirt as I'm wearing it. Now I am stitching close that little opening that you saw earlier that I used to pull my casing through. Now for a quick try on before I have to get dressed. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video. I hope that you liked it, and I hope that you enjoyed the process, seeing how I made this skirt from fabric to fabulous, okay? So if you guys like this video and you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that like button below and comment and let me know what you like best about the skirt and the process. And do not forget to subscribe, you guys. Hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit that bell so that you can get an alert whenever I post a new video. Thank you guys again. And until next time, be blessed.